Hello, welcome back, and all of that jazz. It's Linda, Lady in the Frogs. I'm aware that it is Thursday and it is another long gap. I promise you there is a reason, because this has been my working week so far. So yes, I've had Sunday off, but I've worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You obviously can't see that bit, but I've worked in extensive. Yeah, it's been 5 days a week since people went on holiday. It's 5 days a week next week. This week I'm like technically in the middle of like 6 days in a row, because obviously I've worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I've got today off, which is Thursday, and then I'm Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm tired. I have Monday off, and then I'm in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then it's all over. People will be back from holidays. Yeah, I've been shattered this week. I've been so tired, and I was really tired yesterday. But after I chucked some food down yesterday, because I did finish at 5:30, so I was able to get back here and have like food at normal time. So I settled down, and I've had a decent sleep, and I feel refreshed today. So there we go. So it's all it needs. All you need sometimes is just a good night's sleep. So there we are. And I'm dressed for spring. I'm dressed for spring, but it's frosty outside, so I haven't done my post yet. I am going to do my post. There is only two things. No, and I've walked past that door a zillion times, and I still haven't got the poly mailer that I need for this. So I've got a lot of auctions running, because the one thing I did make myself do was use up my auction allowance by the 31st, which obviously was only last week. So a lot of auctions have ended. This is a Karen Millen dress. It's sold for 99p. I'm showing it to you as an example of what not to pick up, because obviously there's a lot of these wiggle Karen Millen dresses which sell for a lot of money. They're floral ones that sell well. This one doesn't, because let's face it, that just looks like a neon mess. And it didn't sell, and it's a size 10, 99p. I would like to get shot of a lot of stuff, because one of the things that I have done, in light of the fact that it's really messed with my head going down from a feet. So I've always been on a featured shop, and I've gone down to a basic shop, and it's really made me think about the stuff which I've got in my shop, and it's sort of like reevaluate. This is eBay I'm talking about, and let's face it, eBay. I've always been a fan of eBay, and they've really cheesed me off. And I'm going to actually physically show you why they've cheesed me off, and why we should all be cheesed off as sellers. Because obviously I'm recording this on a perfectly functional phone, a modern phone. However, I only got a modern phone because I realised that the security on my old phone wasn't quite right. However, I've continued using that phone for some things connected to the Wi-Fi. Anyway, last thing I've sold, because my eBay is literally dead. I don't know if that's because I'm on a basic shop. I don't know what it is. I think it might be because I'm on a 2-day dispatch, because obviously I have gone down to a 2-day dispatch because I'm working, and I can't guarantee that I can do a daily dispatch, because if I'm working 9 until 5, I can't get to a post office unless I drag my husband into it, which I'm not prepared to do. Jumping through hoops for eBay is starting to become a ball ache. Anyway, the only other thing I should have sold is this little speedboat, and this was £5, but I can do this all day long. This flipping speedboat, water jet, which is from like 19 something or other. I think it's early 90s, this one. I'm breaking it down because I need to pack it up, obviously. I'm going to probably try and not do myself any favours. Yeah, I think this one is early 90s, because it's got a more modern helmet, and it's got like a pattern on the helmet. But I wouldn't know. All I know is in every job lot of Lego I have, there it is. It's one of those sets that you're sick of the sight of. So, the reason eBay has hacked me off. So, I have my business account, which is logged in on this phone that I'm with the phone that I use, which is from 2023. This phone is from 2018. I don't think it's a very old phone, but that's what I'm getting now when I go on my eBay. So this happened the moment they did that thing where people's payment relies. So on a private account, your payment relies on delivery being registered the other end. And obviously they've also put in the condition for clothing, but I don't think that's got anything to do with it, because you've always had to put condition in for things. If you're selling books, you always have to grade it. So there's no reason why putting the grading in the clothing has mucked this up. This has got to be the payment thing, because they are required. Well, I mean, I know this because of the amount of people who are moaning about this on forums. I know that I'm not the only person who is receiving this update. So when you click on update, it's just coming up with that. There's no option to install. It's just not compatible with this phone anymore. I've had this happen before with a tablet that I had, which I used to shop a lot on the tablet because I just found it easy to just sit on the sofa of an evening and scroll through. So my shopping habits went down when eBay stopped being compatible with that tablet. And at the time I was thinking, this is removing lots of customers from it, because a lot of people would just be like, oh, well, I'll just use another platform. I'll just shop on Amazon. I'll just shop on Vinted. And now I just think that they've just put the nail in the coffin, because honestly, how many people out there have only got a phone like this? I know that my parents will have a phone which isn't compatible. Not that they use eBay, but yeah, I can get it on the desktop, but it's so not the point. It just boggles the mind. They must have the capability to make it work with older phones. And let's face it, this is only a 7-year-old phone, and it's to do with the operating system. So it's kind of irked me. And I know that they're trying to get a younger user base, because I don't know, eBay must be now have like loads and loads of youngsters in who think that anybody over 40 is about to die, because I just think that they've alienated their loyal customer base by doing that. And what is the point in having all these, what is the point in saying, oh, be sustainable and the rest of it, when they are literally encouraging people who have a perfectly functional phone to now go out and buy a new phone just so that they can use eBay? It doesn't make sense. The forums are suggesting that they're going to do nothing about this. The IT don't give a damn. It's not just Samsung. It's older iOS. Anything iOS 16 or older doesn't work. Anyway, that's irked me. eBay is irking me because I'm hardly selling anything. I want to pay my debt off, and I really don't know how I'm going to do that if I don't somehow find a way of earning more. But anyway, right, I need to take this apart slightly so that it's not so thick in my packet, because I seem to have selected the smallest bubble mailer in the history of bubble mailers. I've decided that this is the bubble mailer that I'm going to use to send this said Lego set off. So I've probably mentioned this before, but I sandwich mine between card. This is today's card. Just to keep it flat so that it stays large letters, so that I don't get any complaints from Royal Mail. we'll always get complaints from Royal Mail. Yeah, so there we are. So yeah, I'm kind of irritated by. I'm just irritated by every platform. I don't even know what to say anymore. But something needs to happen. However, in light of the fact that I'm in the middle of like a week-long stint, and I've got another week-long stint next week at work, I have literally no headspace to be thinking about this. So, what I did last week, I made a short list. On the day that I was off, I made a list of the things which I wanted to achieve that day, and it actually worked. And now I've got a piece of card which is already bigger than what I need. Come on, pull yourself together, woman. I have done things this morning. It is midday, and I have done things this morning. I got to a point where I woke up, so I still woke up at like 8 o'clock, probably because somebody was screaming in the road or something. There's always somebody around here making a racket. So I've already got up, and I've done some sewing jobs and photographed. Even though the light, I'm sure you can see, the light isn't great. I think I've done the right thing because now the light is massively on my photography area. I think that's enough. That's enough to keep it where I need to be. Usually I put a bit down the middle. Do I put a bit down the middle? I don't know. I don't think it's going to move. Oh, it is going to move. Oh. The handle bit is now flipped up. You see, this is why I do it, because if I don't do it, it doesn't stay as expected. And I put the card on it to add a bit of protection. Right, so I have got to. Don't want to split the bloody bag, but never mind. I don't think I will. Right, so that's that done. That should be under 100 grams and large letter. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's why I sell these smaller Lego sets, because under 100 grams, large letter. Yeah. Last week I wrote a list out of, because I only had like one day last week. What was it? I don't even know. I think I was off on Friday. Yeah, because I worked pretty much Monday to Thursday last week, and I think I had Friday off because then I worked Saturday. So I wrote out a list of things, and I was like, I just want to achieve 3 things on this list. And then there was an extra 2 if that happened. Let's just see what I actually did achieve. Okay, that's not happening. I appear to have thrown the list away. Anyway, I know that I stock taked my tops because I put them all away tidy, and then I did a little bit of listing, and then I don't know what I did. Whatever it was, I know that I achieved it, and I know that I did well on it. Anyway, so this morning I have put that I'm going to do my sewing repairs. I have already done one because I bought a really fabulous coat and then realised that it had a very ornate button missing on it, and then, because my husband was working in town, he went to the haberdashery and they were useless and didn't have any of it. This is the story of my life. I need to stop going to I need to just boycott the place altogether and just go to Fred Aldas. I was trying to explain where that was. My husband didn't know, but they would have had what I needed, but he couldn't work out where it was. And then I would have had to explain to him that he had to walk down the back stairs in this shop to find the sewing department. And I just thought, it's just not worth the aggravation. So I had an auction that was ending last night, which had a very ornate button on it. So I pillaged said button from that because for some reason it had a random button on the back. So I just took that off, and I can re-photograph that because it's been for sale for at least 3 years and hasn't sold. So who gives a damn? So I've taken that button off and put it on this coat, which is a Joe Brown's coat. I have photographed that. I have debobbled that. I have debobbled a jumper and ironed and pressed that and photographed that. I under another item. So I've photographed 5 items this morning. One of them I've actually bought because I'm seriously considering doing Depop, because the way things are going, I need to put eggs in other baskets. I've never had my eggs in other baskets. I have my main egg in an employment basket, and eBay should be my additional income. And even when I was a reseller, my main income came from eBay, and I didn't have put my eggs in any other basket because that basket was a perfect basket. So even now that I have eggs in 2 baskets, I still want to put eggs in other baskets because the eggs in the eBay basket have gone rotten. Anyway, I am buying things with Depop in mind, and this was one of them. But then when I was looking at Depop and I realised you can put 8 photos on, that irked me because what the hell can you do with 8 photos? I used to get annoyed with 12 photos on eBay and then loved it when they changed it. So I bought this with the mind for putting it on Depop, but now I'm probably looking at the prices on eBay. This actually fetches more on eBay. Ragged Priest. And now annoyingly I've got to do repair on this, because when I was looking through it I realised that there's a bloody great hole in the pocket. The pocket is not really a pocket. I mean, I've got a lot of my own pockets which are like that. I'm sure that my keys were in the lining of my jacket just recently and I was having to ferret them out. So although I've done my sewing repairs, I now have to do that. There's another thing in there which I bought, which was a COS knitted dress. And I think this is one of the reasons why I stopped picking up COS, is because it's expensive, but the quality is poor. And I found a hole in it, and then I was like, well, I can sort that. And then I found another load of holes on the hem. And then just as I picked it up, thinking, well, I'll just repair this, then I found another load of badly repaired holes on the other side, and it's just really, really irritated me. So I think it signifies stop picking. You know, we've had some success picking up COS, but let's stop picking up COS again, because who cares how much it is retail? It's diabolical as a brand. So repair's done. I have done photos of that. I have taken photos of that, even though I've now got to mend the pocket in it, but that is what it is. And I honestly think I'm going to put that on eBay, because I think I'm going to put it on eBay. I'm obviously going to zip out and do the post. I really didn't want to go and do the post this morning because there's so much ice out there. I'll just wait for it to melt, and then I don't have to tread carefully. And then what I want to do is I want to stock take my coats and jumpers, end and sell similar. So obviously everything that I did last week in regards to all the tops and all the stuff which I've sent to auction, all of that, you know, it's kind of a fresh listing, but it's also kind of an obsolete listing already, because I put them on and I scheduled them before this new thing went live to select the condition of the item. So I possibly need to go into all of them. Condition specs for scheduled. Yeah, so I need to go and change these condition specs for all of those scheduled tops, because they're just going to go live and they're not going to get the traction that they need, because I need to try and get as many of these condition specs done as possible. And it's not going to take long, because I write my condition of my item in the listing, and I always have done. Why is this a new thing? Shouldn't this have happened 10 years ago? I really don't understand. So anyway, I'm going to prioritise doing that stock take of the coats and the jumpers first, just because. just because I am. And then I can start putting the condition things in. I have barely had any new things go live, so I could really do with some things going live, even if they're relists. I have a heap of stuff to list, which is all photographed and it's all sat there. It's probably only about 10 to 15 items in it. And then there's stuff just strewn everywhere. You know, stuff which I haven't dealt with. I've got a pile of books there which need photographing. That's not going to happen now because the sun is just obliterating that part of the wall. So I'll do that after 2 o'clock. It's only midday. Yeah, that's the plan. And I think it's a good plan. I think it's achievable when I write stuff out on here. So the new listing of the new stuff, and possibly doing my accounts, which I really could do with doing, so I can actually try and work out how I can do a debt repayment on my credit cards. Both those things need to happen, but I just, at the minute, I'm not going to be doing any debt repayment if my eBay earnings don't chunk up like they were. But I don't know. It's just, I always feel like this in January and February, and you always like think, oh, what have I done wrong? And what have I done wrong? It's because it's January and February. I think eBay's going to be even more of a struggle now because obviously they've alienated so many users with that thing that I've just told you about, with just making all those phones obsolete. It just changes people's shopping habits, and it won't change people's shopping habits where they're sitting on a laptop on a sofa. It won't happen. People won't go and rushing out to buy a new phone just because they can't get on eBay. They'll just go on to a different platform. And I've always championed eBay, and a lot of people who've always championed eBay, I think we're all just sitting back going, what the hell are you doing? Why are you doing this? Why are you alienating everybody who's been like faithful to you? Because this is the first time in my life that I have, like I say, felt like putting eggs in another basket. And it's eBay that have done this. I have always depended on eBay. I've always loved eBay. But now I'm going to take my clothing sales, at the very least, elsewhere. Lego is fine, but I don't have any time at the minute to sit and put Lego together. I'm so time poor. And I think that's another reason why I'm annoyed that I'm now feeling that I've got to add new strings to my bow because of what eBay is doing. You know, I understand that they've got to compete, but I also think, you know, this is like me trying to compete with people in my 20s. You know, it's very easy to compare myself to people in my 20s, but I've had my 20s. I'm in my 40s. Maybe I will compare myself to people in their 40s and what they're achieving, but I also know that experience does have its values, and it just, yeah, it's just bugged me. But anyway, I'm not going to let it get to me, and I'm still going to crack on, and let's just see what happens. It's upset me because I just think anybody who's got a phone that is similar to this is now a lost customer, and it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous because they'll just go toddling off to Vinted and they'll go toddling off to Etsy or wherever. And so, or Amazon. You know, this is the thing. My husband, he rarely shops on eBay. He always shops on Amazon. If I don't shop on Amazon, if I need something, he's the one with the Prime membership. He buys it for me. But how stupid! What a stupid move! You know, it just feels like you're playing eBay are playing a chess game, and they've just made a really careless move, and you know they're just 4 moves away from checkmate. I know everybody says, oh, no, there's a big platform, but a big platform shouldn't alienate a massive customer base when they've always been an aging customer base. Anyway, that's me going to stop moaning about that. I think more people should be cross about it, but maybe they don't realise. Maybe they don't factor it in. Maybe I just, because of where I work, I see the ageing population and I see the broke population. You know, the broke population are a young population, but they're not going to buy a new phone because that's not on their list of things to purchase. Yeah, it's so crazy. So crazy. Right, anyway, I'm going to put this video on YouTube. I'm going to rush up and do my post, and I am going to start through my list. And honestly, when am I going to next be in? I'm so confused as to what day it is. Oh, I am off on Monday. Of course I'm off on Monday. Yeah. I feel like it's Friday now. I am in endless confusion as to what day it is. It's taken me, I am at Thursday now, but for the last 2 days I've thought it was Thursday. So now that it is Thursday, I'm totally convinced it isn't Thursday, even though it is Thursday. And I just don't know where I am. But my road tends to be that I'm on 3 days and then I'm off and then I'm on 3 days. And then it sort of like catches up with itself. So I never really know what day I'm going to have off. Anyway, I am off Monday, so I should do a video on Monday. So I will do a video on Monday. And that's me done. And I'll let you know how I've done with my list. And I honestly, anybody else who is struggling with things, just make a sensible list. Put 3 things on there. I know that this is a long list, but you put 3 things on there which are achievable. The post office run isn't the thingy, but listing, doing my relist and stock taking my coats and jumpers and doing photos was the things that I've done, and sewing repairs was the things that are on my list. And I've already struck off 2 of them. So if you're struggling, try the list. Just try and put 3 things that you want to achieve in that day. And don't overstretch yourself, because it worked for me last time and I feel that it's going to work for me again, and I won't throw the list away. So this time I'll actually tell you if I've actually achieved it, because I honestly, I can't see me getting distracted and doing pissing around doing other things. It's going to get done. Anyway, thank you for watching. This has been me, Linda. This is Sean. He is sitting next to a very nice purchase there, which I wish I could fit into. I probably will do a haul video at some point. So most of the stuff which I'm getting in, I'm listing straight away. But that's fabulous. It's Jane Norman. It's a trouser suit. So the trousers are the trousers, but they're very nice cut of trousers. And then this is a jacket, a waistcoat. Obviously, not a jacket, a waistcoat. But if only I could fit in that. And you see that? I feel that is a Depop thing. However, I'm now like annoyed, because I'm like, well, if I've got that and I obviously want to sell it as a trouser suit, it's going to be quite hard for me to take photos of that as a trouser suit and to show everything in 8 photos. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm like, oh, do I really want to do Depop? Because I can't show the detail that I want to, that I'm used to showing. Anyway, that's me. I'm going to crack on with my list. Goodbye. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Hopefully Monday.